Professional ethics is a guideline for personnel to imply honesty and integrity in their professional behavior. In terms of ethical auditing, the professional responsibility is which the auditor needs to act in the public interest. In order to maintain public confidence in accountancy and the auditing profession, the general public requires all members maintain a high ethical standard and comply with the APES 110 Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, issued by Accounting Professional and Ethical Standards Board. Members participating in Australia or abroad must comply with the code unless they are prevented from doing by applicable laws or regulations. When apply the requirements, members should not only guide by the words but also guide by the spirit. The code contains 3 parts. Part 1, by compliance with 5 fundamental principles and identify the threats. Part 2, evaluate the threats. Part 3, apply safeguards. There are 5 fundamental ethical principles required the member to follow to ensure the independence of the audit. Integrity, to be straightforward and honest in all professionals and business relationships. Objectivity, to not allow bias, conflict of interest, or undue influence of others to override professional or business judgment. Professional competence and due care, to maintain professional knowledge and skill at the level required to ensure a client or employer receives competent professional service based on current developments in practice, legislation, and techniques. Confidentiality, to respect the confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and business relationships and should not disclose any such information to third parties without proper and specific authority unless there is a legal or professional right or duty to disclose. Professional behaviors, to comply with relevant laws and regulations and should avoid any actions that discredits the profession. If the auditor is not independent sufficiently in both mind and appearance, the threat will come up and fall into one of the following 5 categories. Self-interest, when a professional or immediate or close family member has a financial or other interests. Self-review, when a professional re-evaluates his own judgment. Advocacy, when a professional promotes an opinion that compromises his own objectivity. Familiarity, when a professional, due to a close relationship, becomes too sympathetic to the interests of others. Intimidation, when a professional is threatened from acting objectively. All professionals should apply safeguards to either eliminate or reduce the threat to an acceptable level so that the fundamental principles are not compromised. Safeguards fall into 2 categories: safeguards created by the professions, legislation or regulation, and safeguards in the work environment. The purpose of safeguards is to increase the likelihood of identifying or deterring unethical dilemmas. However, if a professional has violated the code without knowing once discovered, the professional must make immediate remedial action, including setting up further safeguards. The violation may or may not compromise compliance dependent on the nature and significance of the matter.